Welcome participants in this new session of MOOCs for organizational behavior, and in the last session we were talking about various methods to improve the organizational commitment, because we could understand that what is importance of organizational commitment. Organizational commitment has a direct relationship with some of various crucial factor of organizational working, and these organizational working helps us to attain the organizational goal. So, the next method in the sequence for improving the organizational commitment is clear and goal oriented communication for the employees. If organization has clear and goal oriented, we need to understand that each and every organization is being run by the communication only. Communication is considered as nervous system of the organization. If there is no communication in the organization, the complete work of organization will reach to the standstill. As finance is considered as blood of the business, it is not possible to bring any business into existence and to run it without finance is not possible. Similarly, it is not possible to bring a business into existence and to run it without communication. It is communication which will travel in the organization in the form of orders, commands, instructions, and all these orders, commands and instructions will help the organization to attain its objectives and goals. But if the communication is not clear and it is not appropriate as per expectation of employees, then certainly it will affect the organizational commitment. So, organization must take care that its communication is clear and goal oriented. We can understand it with the help of the different type of communication, that is upward and downward, then horizontal and diagonal, and yes, of course, other type of communication styles also, that is the passive communication style, aggressive communication style, then passive aggressive communication style, and then assertive communication style. All these factors of communication will have impact on organizational commitment. So, while blending or while developing the system of communication in organization must take care, so that an appropriate organizational environment can be created where people can have commitment towards the working, towards the goal, towards the resources of organization. So, this is also one of the method for improvement. And third one is the system of organization should be transparent and open. It should be transparent and open. There should not be any kind of opaqueness in that. Whatever are the policies, programs, scheme, guideline, rule, regulation, all these should be transparent and all these should be easily accessible to the employees. If there will be any kind of opaqueness, if there will be any kind of difficulty in the accessibility for these, then it will certainly affect the organizational commitment. Then next factor or next strategy which can improve the organizational commitment is the ethics, and specifically in the present time. If organization is not practicing the ethics, ethics is a comprehensive term which includes both the legal and other. In the legal, we are bound to do so, otherwise there will be penalty for it. But there are certain factors of organizational working which does not come under the domain of legal, like what is happening with the environment, what is happening with the people, what is happening with the sustainability. There are certain factors which could not be included in the domain of legality. So, practice of ethical principle in business is at most important. If organization is not practicing the ethical means there is partiality, there is discrimination, there is corruption, there are certain factors which are badly affecting the nature, the environment, the well-being of human beings, the well-being of other living beings. That will hamper and that will limit the employee to have organizational commitment. So, this is also one of the major factors. Next method which can improve the organizational commitment is positive work and culture. If an organization want to see all of its employees well committed towards the organization, then the organization must foster the positive work culture in the organization. And positive work culture means when the counterproductive work behavior is eliminated and the productive work behavior is appreciated, recognized, acknowledged. If people contributing constructively and positively to the organization must be appreciated, and those who are involved in the counterproductive work behavior or the deviant work behavior, that should be checked and controlled, and organization should create the positive work culture, so that the organizational goals can be. The next factor which can improve the organizational commitment is trust among employees. Trust is dependability. Trust is dependability on honesty. As much as people will have faith and dependence, the trust will go high. So, trust is one of the factor. If there is a lack of trust in the organization, there will be an environment of uncertainty, fear, and if employees are working in the environment of uncertainty and fear, that is not good for the organization. So, while developing and designing the structure of organization, and while evolving the policies and program of organization, trust should by default be inculcated and incorporated in the system, so that people can have faith and dependence on each other and the relationship can improve. So, this is also one of the method. Another method is by incorporating the innovation. If we will not add the innovation and creativity in the working of the organization, the other factor, negative factor of boredom and monotony and routineness will emerge, and the boredom, monotony and routineness of working of organization will demotivate the employees. So, appropriate opportunities should be given to the employees, so that they can use the new methods, the creative methods of doing the thing, and involvement of innovation and creativity in the working of organization will certainly improve the organizational commitment. Next factor or next method is there should be provision in the organization to give positive feedback, to give feedback and yes for constructive criticism. So, sharing of feedback and constructive criticism is one of the factor which will have impact on organizational commitment. Feedback should never be taken as a blame. feedback should be taken as a matter to introspect whether the comment given in the feedback is really that or it is not like that. And if it is really that, then the remedial actions must be taken. Only then the feedback will be taken as feedback. If someone is giving feedback and the counterpart is taking it as a blame, no, I am not like that, I am a different kind of person, then it will hamper the possibilities of improvement. Similarly, for the constructive criticism, whether organization is developing a policy, a program, an SOP, or it is commenting on the working of an individual, a team, or organization as a whole, within the organization there should be ample opportunities, enough opportunities to constructively criticize the working of organization, because positive and constructive criticism of functioning of organization will evolve innovative and creative new ways for dealing the challenges and problems and for taking decision about organization. So, constructive feedback and criticism is one of the method for enhancing the organizational commitment. And yes, another factor which can enhance the organizational commitment, the strategy is efficient delegation of authority and power. If power and authority is a factor which empowers an individual to influence the behavior of others by giving the command, instruction and orders. If that power is not appropriately delegated, then among certain situations or circumstances, there will be vacuum for taking the decision. But if power and authority is delegated appropriately, people would be competent and capable to take decisions, and taking right decision at right time can affect the working of organization in positive and constructive manner. So, the efficient delegation of power and authority enhances the organizational commitment. And yes, incentives to the employees is also one of the factor, one of the method to improve the organizational commitment. If someone is dedicatedly working for the organization, someone's commitment towards organization is very strong, then accordingly the incentive should be given to the employee. If that will not be addressed, then there will be a kind of demotivating factor, and that will reduce down the organizational commitment. And with this, it is conclusion of another very important topic, and the topic is the organizational commitment. And next topic in your syllabus is organizational citizenship behavior. So, now we will talk about this particular concept of organizational working, and that concept is the organizational citizenship behavior. This term consists of three words: organizational, which I have already explained number of times, that organizational is something which is related to the organization. Citizenship is a term related to the nationalism, to the political system, to the governance, and behavior is the set of actions and reaction exhibited by an individual is behavior. Now, let us combine all the meaning of these three words, then we can understand what is meaning of organizational citizenship behavior. Before we conclude the meaning, let us again talk about citizenship. What is citizenship? Whenever we speak that I am citizen of India, a sense of belongingness, a sense of relationship, a sense of commitment, a sense of attachment, a sense of doing something good for my nation comes. If we take that as it is and impose it on the organization, if an individual employee has got the citizenship behavior, citizenship behavior means the person is extraordinarily attached, connected, related with the organization, and that relationship, that attachment is not limited to the given job and job roles only. It will expand beyond that. Individual will have tendency to work with organization beyond the scope of the job given to him and the job roles given to him. So, the organizational citizenship behavior describes all the positive and constructive employee actions and behaviors that are not necessarily the part of job only. In other words, whenever an employee is working for the organization beyond the allotted job and job roles, that kind of behavior is the citizenship behavior. As I told you that if I am citizen of India, then I feel emotional with my country, and when I feel emotional with the country means there is no limit what should I do for my country, because my country is doing a lot. This is give and take kind of relationship, but an emotional kind of relationship, as it is practiced in the case of nation and its citizens. So, the simplest definition given by Dennis Organ, basically this term of organizational citizenship behavior was coined by Dennis Organ in 1988, and according to him the definition of organizational citizenship behavior is when an individual behavior which is not rewarded by a formal reward system, but that when combined with the same behavior in a group results in effectiveness. Now, let us try to understand what it is. This behavior is not rewarded means if I am given a job by the university, in compensation of that certain financial and other benefits in the form of reward are given to me. But if I am working for my organization beyond those rewarded actions and reactions, then it will be known as organizational citizenship behavior. Now, there are different type of organizational citizenship behavior. Different people act and react towards organization. As I told you, organization is supporting me for my livelihood. Organization is rewarding me for my contribution to the organization, and as a result of that, yes, of course, it is my role, responsibility and duty to contribute for the same. But in case of citizenship behavior, my emotional attachment will expand my contribution beyond the allotted job, and people address and observe it in the different patterns, or we can say that there are different type of organizational citizenship behaviors, and these behaviors are the altruism, courtesy, sportsmanship, and civic virtues and conscientiousness. These are some of the organizational citizenship behavior. Among them, the very first is altruism. Altruism is an act or a behavior of individual against which that person is not interested to acquire or attain any kind of reward or compensation. Example, suppose I am associated with an NGO, non-governmental organization, and this NGO is working for the education of poor children or slum children. So, I am contributing donation to the organization as well as I am contributing to the organization without taking any financial or other benefit from the organization. That kind of behavior is altruistic behavior, or that behavior is known as altruism. Now, similar kind of behavior can be practiced in the organization. There are certain duties, role, responsibilities, activities, task, work for which I am being paid, but there are number of activities going in the organization where I have no role, no job, no activity, but even then I am contributing positively and constructively to such activities of organization is the altruistic behavior or altruism behavior, and that is a kind of organizational citizenship behavior. And number of people among organizations are doing that, and not only that, sometimes even beyond that. Let us take example of COVID-19 and this deadly disease pandemic hit world over, and people came out with their organizational citizenship behavior of altruism and supported not only each other, not only among teams or inter teams, but also beyond the working of organizations also, because COVID-19 affected badly the employment and people became unemployed, and consequently as a result of this altruism organizational citizenship behavior, the working class could support not only the organizations but government also. And for that I can quote that government of Haryana requested the employees, its employees, to contribute to the government for the support of managing this deadly disease of COVID-19, and as a result of that we could manage or we could come out of this problem. Now, the second type of this citizenship behavior, organizational citizenship behavior, is courtesy. And all we understand what is courtesy. Courtesy is when we are expanding our relationship beyond the organizational relationship. Each and every employee of an organization is related to each other, but there is limit to that relationship. Limit to relationship means we can relate being employee in a team as an organization as a whole within the limitation of the legitimate relationship. But if we are going beyond that positively and constructively, positively means you came to know that some employee was sick for the last 2 months and even he is not related to you, he is not part of your team, and if you are asking for the well-being of that person and you are motivating that person that even after coming from such a deadly disease you have now joined and motivating that person, that is an act of courtesy. Act of courtesy means when beyond our relationships we are trying to relate positively and constructively with the organizational people, that is courtesy. And this is a kind of organizational citizenship behavior, and this behavior helps significantly the organization to attain its goal. The next type of organizational citizenship behavior is sportsmanship. This term is from the sports, and we all understand very well what is meaning of this term. In sports, we do not have enmity, we have competition. There is difference between rivalry, enmity and competition. There should be healthy competition. Healthy competition means very aggressively both the teams should fight to win the game, but these teams and their team members should not think that the counter team is an enemy team, and nothing emotionally, psychologically and physically should be done which can cause any kind of harm or damage to the counter team. This principle of sportsmanship from the sports can also be practiced in the business and industrial working. How it can be? Suppose number of teams are working and each team is preparing a proposal, and as a result of that proposal, number of proposals were submitted to the organization, and all these proposals were scrutinized, assessed, examined, and then some of them were found useful and others were not useful. And when this news was shared with the different teams, then one of the team became aggressive and started pleading and became violent. That is not the sportsmanship behavior. Yes, in among organizations also we should have positive and constructive competitive behavior, but that should not be hampering, harming and causing any kind of hazard to the organization, and that is also helpful for them. The next is conscientiousness, and in this the behavior is observed among business setting when an employee not only meets their employees requirement such as coming on time, rather contributing more than that, using individuals consciousness in that and then accordingly behaving. And the last one is civic virtue. Civic virtue means the basic amenities related to that, how an individual is contributing, how individual is behaving. So, this is all related to this, and here this is conclusion of this employees attitude topic, and in this we have already understood the employees attitude, job satisfaction, organizational commitment, and lastly the organizational citizenship behavior. So, here it is conclusion. Thank you for participating in it, and in the next session we will come up with another topic. Thank you very much.